Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms, and I'm joined here as always with my partner in crime, Sam Schneider of Primetime Sports Talk. And this is the most unbelievable Jungle Talk. It is AFC Championship. We're on our way to the Super Bowl edition. Yeah!
Yes, sir. We sure are. We sure are. I think they took.
So there you go. There you go. I know he doesn't have nobody really has the vintage Mighty Ducks quacker, but
listen,
it's all good.
I just try to keep up with you, Mark. That's
right.
My job. I just try to keep up with you.
It's all good. I first want to preface this by saying I have never, ever in my whole life been more happy to be wrong on my prediction than I was. That was my id talking. My ego wanted to take the Bengals, but I was going with my id. But the Bengals did exactly what they've done all year, which is hang around and come through in the end. It's called clutch, and never been happier to be wrong. We're going to do what we usually do. We'll go through, we'll cover, the game, some of the bad, but mostly good. Don't want to rain on any parade. But this game to me, and Tam, tell me if you agree with this was really similar to the last game. It was a tale of two completely different halves, just like when we met 4 weeks ago. And it looked like the Chiefs were going to do the same thing to us that we did to them. Like they were never going to let us back on the field, and they were going to close it out. And fortunately, we were able to hang on and force the field goal.
Yeah, and not only that, like I wrote about this I actually changed my prediction. My prediction with you last week was far more accurate. But then when I wrote for Primetime Sports Talk, both in my expert picks and in my gambling picks today, I expected a far different outcome, and I expected it to be a lot more like week 17. I was calling for a 34-31 win, pretty much the same as we had that week. And obviously I was wrong on that, but it still felt the same way. I still said I thought the game script was going to be the same. The Kansas City Chiefs would be at home. They'd have the home crowd behind them. They would jump out to a big lead. We would have to chip away and make, adjustments at halftime. And we did. We did all of those things. And man, that feels good as a Bengals fan. For so long, we were unable to make halftime adjustments. At halftime, if you were down, you were just going to go further down. And this year feels a little different.
Well, it's not just this year. It's moving on from Marvin Lewis. The Bengals have struggled with halftime adjustments since Zimmer left the team. I don't know if Zimmer was the ability that Lewis had to make halftime adjustments, but since Zimmer left and Gruden was gone, Marvin Lewis refused. He said, I'm not going to abandon a game plan I've worked on all week to make adjustments, in the middle of the game, but that's how you win games. So that's something that we've moved on from since Marvin Lewis. But
and I think because you're mentioning Marvin Lewis, I think we should mention that I think part of the reason for that is Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor has done a great job in getting his team fired up at halftime, making some adjustments, and saying this is what we're going to do when we go out there, and the team believes in him and what he's saying, which I think is a huge deal. And obviously, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Uzomah going down with the knee injury.
Was unfortunate.
But even is very unfortunate, and it's bad from a personnel standpoint. But at the same time, when he went into the locker room, I was like, man, I'll tell you what, even if that dude is on crutches at halftime, he's going to fire up these guys. and he's going to be on the sideline in the second half, firing up these guys. And he sure was.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to this team and this brotherhood that the Bengals have right now, which I don't think can be understated.
Yeah. Let's just touch on a little bit. I want to talk about the first half, which is going to be some negative discussion, except to the end, and then we'll jump into the second half. As I predicted, McKinnon was a problem in the first half. I just knew he was going to be. I mean, this is a better Chiefs team than we faced before. The first two drives, when the Chiefs scored, it was because Tyreek Hill made a key catch in the end zone, and that was a great reception. And the reason why we didn't answer that with a touchdown was because our guys didn't make the catch. Higgins didn't make the catch in the end zone. There were two opportunities to make big catches, and we didn't. We weren't getting any pressure on Mahomes in the first half. It was a non-existent. And I really felt that the play calling, we came to this game, we had nothing to lose. Nobody expected us to win. So I thought the play calling was too inconsistent. That's all I have to say negative. Obviously, we know about the deficiencies in the right side of our line, but that's the only thing negative I have to say about the first half, because everything turned around on the Chiefs' arrogance at the end of the half. They had an opportunity to just punch on three, and they didn't do it.
Andy Reid, who is, in my opinion, one of the greatest coaches in the history of the NFL. And if you guys disagree, drop it down in the comments. I think Andy Reid is amazing. And I agree with you, Mark. He got arrogant, and them going without a score at the end of the half was like, dude, this is like basic coaching.
Right. No, that's
basic coaching.
That was Brandon Staley type of coaching, which is why the Chargers weren't in the postseason. They had a second down with 9 seconds, and Mahomes ran a quick play, saw it wasn't open, threw it in the ground. So he understood the urgency. Only took 4 seconds off the clock. There were 5 seconds left, and he throws it. That's one of those, it's Mahomes and Hill. That's one of those, you go back, if your guy's not there, you got to spike it again into the ground and you kick the field goal. Instead, he throws it to Hill short, and they didn't score. So that was that really started the positive energy going into the locker room. And then the biggest thing I want to talk about in the second half is how big was the trade price for BJ Hill. Dude, I mean, this just continues to pay dividends. It's just the greatest. It has to be, in my mind, the greatest recoup of a bust first round pick to get BJ Hill and have him do what he's done for us this year. That was absolutely amazing. Kudos to the Bengals front office for making that trade happen, because that was unbelievable.
It could not possibly be overstated, because even when he didn't make a big play, and he made 3 enormous plays today, 3, I mean, gigantic stops today, huge ones.
Yeah.
Even then, outside of those 3, he was involved, and he was a problem. He was a problem, particularly in the second half. We talked about how in the first half, the rush wasn't anything special. In the second half, really got on him. And gosh, BJ Hill was just, I mean, if it wasn't for our offense with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, I mean, I'd be hard pressed not to say that BJ Hill is MVP of this team. You're talking about,
I won't go that far, but it's a big recoup from the Billy Price bust we had.
Right. Well, I guess all I'm saying is, obviously you're not going to put him over some of the offensive pieces that we have, but what he has done, as what the Giants considered him to be and also ran, and he has come in and shown just tremendous pressure. He's always back there. He's shown that I'm not a backup. I'm a starter. I'm a bad man. And he's done that. And and he's been the key to several of our wins this year.
Yeah, no,
And
he,
I think that's a huge, huge deal.
yeah, he's been a big contributor. Like I said, to me, we basically, you talk about taking lemons and making lemonade. I mean, we had this bust first round pick in Price, and we turned it into not only somebody who contributes, but somebody who's just made some huge plays. And like I said,
Yeah.
it just goes along. Everything has fallen in place for us. Our All of our free agents have really, really contributed over the past 2 seasons. The only free agent you can point to that really hasn't lived up to anything is Trey Wayans. Everybody else has contributed, and this year's signings were huge. I mean, Hendrickson, and you go through the guys we added. Mike Hilton, unbelievable. So this just kind of falls in line with everything going right for us, staying healthy, just all the stuff that's gone right for us. Looking at the stats, we really even things out. If you remember at halftime, and I was somewhere else watching the game, so I didn't get to see the stats, but I know they were showing like a 10-point average, 10-yard average on per play for the Chiefs. They were showing time of possession, all that stuff. And now you look at it at the end of the game, we led by in time of possession. We evened up things on the average, the yards per play, 5.6, 5.4. Just everything. We ended up with the 66 total plays for 67. I mean, it was just, like I said, a lot like the last game where it was the tale of two halves. It
Well,
really
yeah,
was.
that was my deal. That's what I told, all of my friends, text threads and online and everything else. I said over and over again, I think this is going to follow the same game script. You got Kansas City at home. Are they going to come out gunning? Sure. Are they going to take an early lead? Sure, they are. Are they going to take a bunch? And towards the end of the second half, I said, let's just get a touchdown and make it 21-10. That'll make it better. And we did. And those are the things that are important. You've got to chip away. You've got to stay close, and that's a big deal. Maybe it doesn't seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but that's a big deal. You got to stay close so that you can make those halftime adjustments and then come out gunning in the second half. And sure enough, we did the exact same thing. We followed the same play script as we did the first time we played the Chiefs, which is the defense came out in the second half and there were no nonsense.
Mhm.
There were no nonsense.
And we weathered.
I mean,
We
the Chiefs still got theirs a little bit, but the defense was like, yeah, we're gonna bend, but we're not gonna break. We're gonna shut you down to what you got and give our offense a chance to get back into the game. And sure enough, they did it just like they did in the first game.
Yeah, we weathered 10 catches by Kelsey, 7 catches by Tyreek Hill, but we knew they were going to get theirs. Once again, similar to last week, their guys are going to get a couple things, but we weathered them. It wasn't, out of 11 targets, Kelsey had 10 catches, but it was only 95 yards and only the 1 touchdown. Tyreek Hill had 7 catches and only that 1 touchdown. So
Right.
definitely did everything. Also, the last thing I want to mention is absolute kudos to Mike Hilton and Jesse Bates. They had a huge game. Eli Apple was okay Apple today. He had a chance to make a really big interception, didn't, but he wasn't horrible. We did get Bates on the tip ball, but like I said, Bates, Bell, and Hilton especially. Hilton had a couple huge plays in coverage today. Really came to play, and that goes back to what I said about us scoring so well on free agency. I mean, Mike Hilton has been another one of those guys, and Hendrickson today that just you can't overstate the contribution and how many it was home run derby for us. How many home runs we hit in free agency this year really has set this team up.
I'm going to disagree with you just a little bit on this point, only because I think Apple played a horrible game. He was playing really soft coverage, which is why Tyreek Hill had such a great game. So I'm not happy about
Well,
that.
I agree.
I
First quarter.
understand. I understand that Apple didn't give up the home run ball, but he was more than happy to give up the 15 to 20-yard pass. Uh, not not really pleased with that.
Well, no, and
Uh,
that was in the first half. Hill had most of his catches in the first half. Second half, Eli Apple was there in coverage, had a chance
Agreed.
to make interceptions, made plays. It was, like I said, so that's why I'm going with the okay Apple. It would be good Apple if he had made that interception, but it
Right.
was at least good Apple that he was in position to touch the ball and not the
Well,
receiver.
and I agree with that, and I'll say, I'll take it one more for the first half, second half. I thought Jesse Bates was terrible in the first half. I thought he was horrible. He looked out of sorts. He looked like he didn't even know where he was. He had no clue what he was doing. In the second half, again, like you said, he adjusted himself. We are a second half team. I still can't believe I'm saying that. We always made that as a joke for so long. And now I think we actually are a second half team. But Jesse Bates was the same deal. Terrible first half. Second half, he was much better. Mike Hilton um, did not play well, but Mike Hilton also was tasked with trying to cover Nicole Hardman and Travis Kelsey
Right.
and Byron Pringle and Tyreek Hill. Um, I don't know what else you got to ask for Mike Hilton.
Well, but when there were big plays to be made in the second half, Hilton delivered.
He did enough that we weren't completely burnt by any of those people. And in my book, that's pretty good. Mike Hilton is has been fantastic this year, and I'm so happy that he's on our team. He's done such a good job. He can't cover everybody.
No, but no, listen, it was a tale of two halves, just like the last game. And in the second half, Hilton did contain Kelsey in the first half. We only gave up the one score. And that guy's a beast to bring down. I mean, you watch it, they struggle, but it's delay and hope for help. And I think he did just enough. So with that, I'm just so excited, guys. I want everybody to be able to go. We're recording right now. It's the first half of the Niner Ram game. I want everybody to be able to go out, watch this at halftime. So we're going to get this up, but I'm so happy. And now I've got to figure out a way to get a ticket because I'm definitely going to be at the game in a couple of weeks. So one way or another, I'm going to be there and I'm going to make it happen. So that's my
for anybody watching, Mark is gonna fly me out to
not going to happen. So you can already stop. That's not going to happen. So and I just checked the StubHub and I just checked Ticketmaster and the very tip top of SoFi is like 7,000 a ticket. So we're going to see if that comes down, to a little more manageable number.
I saw a couple that were 4,500.
So those aren't done. I'm looking on reliable sources where I know I won't get burned. So
right, of course.
I'm not at eBay, so I can get to the stadium and find out I bought a counterfeit ticket. So
of course,
it'll be a verified source.
Who are watching? Everybody that is watching. I know I was a mess last week, but I'm going to remind you again. Go down here, hit that subscribe button. Where is it, Mark? Where is it?
It's there.
It's over here.
No, it's right there. Well,
hit
it's not
that
on your
subscribe
side.
Button. Jam that like button so that other Bengals fans will see our video. Subscribe to us and absolutely drop a comment down below. Let us know where you were watching. Let us know how it felt when you knew we were going. I can't believe I'm saying it. When you knew we were going to the Super Bowl. And how you felt about it. Mark and I always love to see all of your comments down below. So please do go down there, and we'll
Okay.
see you soon for sure.
So we will get a preview of the Super Bowl up probably sometime over the
A
weekend
preview of the what?
of the Super Bowl. We
Of
will
the
get there.
what?
I was older when we went to 2 Super Bowls, so I'm, like I said, this is for me. This is the third time around. I was 18 when we made it in 81. I was 25 when we made it in 88, and I actually had a chance to go to the 88 game, fly to Miami. I passed on it, so that's why I'm going to, one way or another, I will be at the game next week. One of my kids may not go to college, but I'm going to go to the game next week. So, and I'm joking, my kid's going to go to college. Don't worry. But I will definitely be there. I'm excited. This is a great day. It's finally, and we are, like I said, I didn't expect to be doing what we did today until next year. So we're a year early on the start of our long 10, 12, 15-year run, however long this is going to be, with Joey B at the helm. I'm really fired up. So
me too. I listen, the 88 season, the Super Bowl was in 89. That was my 11th birthday. We had a video last week after our win on my birthday. That was to the day that we lost the Super Bowl in 89. And it felt so good to win that day. And I'm here hanging out with some friends at their house. I got Pete and Nick and Liz and a whole bunch of people here. And boy, we were jumping up and down like crazy at the end of the game. And I hope everybody else out there was going nuts too. Yeah. It's good. It's Super Bowl.
Throw some comments down, subscribe. We'll be back with the preview next week sometime. And obviously I will be shooting video at the Super Bowl, hopefully from better seats than I think I'm going to be in. But with that, I'm going to say, "Hoot everybody!" And
hoot everybody! Tell Mark to fly me out there.
Not flying you out there. Savor this moment, everybody. Hooday!
Hooday!